And I forgot to do that too. So, yeah, I've kind of put this list together at the last minute. So if I left somebody off the list you guys have, it's okay. Like I just did with Terrence Shannon Jr., we'll make it happen. So, Sonny, why don't you start us off with Defensive Player of the Year?
I have Ace Baldwin. I just think he changes the game the way he hawks at the ball. And, I think he leads the Big Ten in steal. So I think that was an easy choice for me. I also have Cliff Amourier from Rutgers. And number 3 is Coleman Hawkins, Illinois.
You don't think Zach Edey will be up there?
He probably will. Okay. But, it's well, we'll see what your guys' list.
Okay. All right. Kent, give us your 3.
I'll put him first. I think Zach is the best defensive player as well. And it's not based on his stats. I just think that he does so much. He causes so much attention defensively. Like people have to scheme around him. So I'll put him number 1. I'll put Cliff number 2. And then, okay, I don't know. For the sake of the conversation, I'm going to just change it to Julian Reese, number 3. You have him on there? There he is.
Right here. Yeah, no, I agree. I actually am going to be a little bit of a mix of you guys. I love Ace Baldwin Jr. I love that pick, Sonny. I think he is just so energetic and brings so much to the defensive end. Not only that, but I feel like Penn State's defense, like, overall is better with him on the court, which is hard to do as a guard, right? Like you can make that impact as a rim protector, as a big, somebody like that. But I think Ace Baldwin Jr. makes that impact as a guard really, really well. My other one is Cliff Amourier. I think that Cliff, he's one of the best shot blockers in all of the Big Ten this year. I just, not just the Big Ten, all of the country as well. I think he's up there, in like top 5 or top 10 for blocks per game, stuff like that. And then my other one, I know that I was, beating the drum for Coleman Hawkins to be on the Defensive Player of the Year list for, the finalists or whatever nationally. I think he's right there on the edge for me, but I do have to give it to Zach Edey just because of how much he does overall change the game. And there's so much that you can't do on offense when you're coming into the half court because Zach Edey is down there. Everybody can complain all they want about free in the key, whatever, that kind of stuff. And I get it. It's annoying. However, at the end of the day, it's really, really tough. And you have to scheme up a lot just to get to the basket with him in the game. So, Sonny, what your Zach Edey response here, what you got?
I'm an Illinois fan, but I like Zach Edey. I have no issues with him. I like to troll the Purdue fan base with the whole, referee thing. And I'm not one of those guys remotely who thinks he gets away with things on offense because he's tall. No, he's one of the most skilled big men offensively I've ever seen. I think defensively, it's a little bit different where, and again, don't get mad at me for saying this, Boilermaker fans. I just think a lot of it is kind of size. A fact, the guy's 7 foot whatever with long arms in the middle. The 3 guys I rated in my top 3, I think are more actually skillful, like swiping at the ball, getting steals, or playing one-on-one. Whereas Edey, I think,
is just big.
Or Edey, sorry, is just. Again, offensively, super skilled. Defensively, he's a good defensive player, but a lot of the scheming and everything, the reason teams don't attack the hoop is because there's a very large individual down there. And that's kind of why, again, I respect the guy, but I just don't have him in my top 3.
I see it. Here's kind of my rebuttal. Because I see it, that's part of the reason why I also left Coleman Hawkins off my list. As much as and I feel like I'm the only one saying this, I really like Coleman Hawkins. I'm not even an Illinois fan. I think that, his antics on the court and stuff like that, I know it annoys people, but I just love the passion and how hard he wants every single call and all these things. I think LeBron's kind of whiny with it. So that's why I don't like when he does it. But I think a lot of it comes from Coleman's passion and stuff. But the part for me with Coleman is I do feel like sometimes when you get a really good offensive big, they can kind of get more of what they want than maybe some other bigs let them have. Coleman's not the best rim protector and stuff like that. No, he's versatile, super versatile, and I think that's a fantastic part of his game. Like I said, I was vying for Coleman Hawkins to be on National Defensive Player of the Year list because I think he deserves to be up there. However, at the end of the day, I do think there's a weakness in his game that does take him out of the top 3 in my Big Ten. So, Kent, you have any thoughts on Coleman or go ahead, Sonny?
Yeah, I'm just going to rebuttal that slightly.
Okay, go ahead.
The difference is Coleman Hawkins can guard 1 through 4 on the court. Like he will, if the opposing point guard tries to get by him, he can guard him, not a problem. Coleman is a 4 being forced to play a 5 because Illinois doesn't have any centers. So yeah, if you're talking about the one guy that Coleman can't guard is the guy who's going to be 4 inches bigger, 40 pounds heavier. But I'd like to see Zach Edey try to guard Boo Buie and Boo Buie trying to break him down. Boo Buie's going to go right around him. He's not going to go right around Coleman Hawkins. So for me, I like Coleman's versatility in guarding, 1 through 4, as opposed to Edey obviously being dominant, but he's just guarding one position.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think it's fair to say Coleman Hawkins has a weakness in his game, but Zach Edey has a weakness in his game as well because Zach Edey he can't play on-ball defense like Coleman Hawkins can. Not saying he can't play on-ball defense on the perimeter. He just can't play it like Coleman Hawkins can. Kent, where do you stand on all of this?
Yeah, I left him off my list because I thought for sure you'd put him on there because pretty much everyone on social media and places that I listen to and things like that about Big Ten basketball had pretty much given Coleman Hawkins the award already, I feel like. So just for the sake of conversation, I left him off the list, but I actually do think he is going to win it. And to Sonny's point, made a really good point. He can guard so many other positions, but Zach Edey is a big human being. And I still think that teams, to me, if I had to pick one guy to start my defense with, I'm still going to start it with Zach Edey because you have to do so many different things to scheme around what he is. Even if he isn't as athletic as Coleman Hawkins because of how big he is. So I still think he is the best defensive player. But I do think that Sonny makes great points. I think that Coleman Hawkins is a more versatile defensive player. And I also think that he's the one that is going to win the award. I also feel like when I was making my list, I was just thinking about bigger guys, but I just pulled up like the history of this award. It's been a good mix of big guys and guard play. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll go to a bigger guy this year, but it is interesting looking back how many guards have won this award.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Chase Audige and Caleb McConnell last year were co-defensive players of the year. So we could end up in a situation like that. The only reason I wouldn't predict that Coleman Hawkins would win the award is because he was left off the National Defensive Player of the Year list. I feel like there is something out there that is keeping him from, being on that list from the media or whoever it might be. And so it's hard for me to predict a guy to win the Defensive Player of the Year award in the Big Ten when there were 3 or 4, I forget if Reese was on there or not, guys from the Big Ten on that list, and Coleman Hawkins wasn't. So I'm going to sound like a hater. I know. I think Coleman Hawkins is fantastic, and I think that he's definitely in the mix. But unfortunately, I just don't know how he wins it when he's off that other list. So, all right, guys. So we all agree Clifford Mourier?
Yeah. I mean, that's the only guy we all picked.
I still think Ace is going to win it, but yeah, I'm fine with that. He's the
So who's your prediction then, Ken? If you, other than Coleman Hawkins, if we're leaving him out of it, who is your prediction?
I mean, like I said, I was only thinking about big guys. I don't know why I was doing that, so I don't mind leaning with you guys and going with Ace Baldwin.
Okay,
that's fine with me.
I'd be okay either way with Ace or Cliff.
Let's do Ace then. You guys both picked him first, right? Okay. Is that how you guys did it? You ranked him first, so you said his name first?
Yeah, some of it was that. Some of it was also just I like him the best. So I have a little bit of bias, I guess. All right, let's go.
Thanks for listening to the Big Ten Huddle. Please do like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If this was your first time listening, we are the Big Ten Huddle. We cover all things Big Ten football and basketball. We have a long episode every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, all at 9 o'clock. So come in, check us out, get in the chat, let us know what you're thinking. We would love to have you join us and learn more about the Big Ten.